We are bringing you complete coverage of the tension at the U.S.-Mexico border. Multiple times this week, migrants have broken through razor wire the state installed along the border wall.
ABC-7's Heriberto Perez will bring you reaction to the unrest in Juarez.
And Tony Gutierrez has the district attorney's comments on possible implementation of Senate Bill 4 once it makes its way through the courts.
But first, ABC-7's Sam Harris-Simowitz joins us live to explain the latest details we've learned from both state and federal law enforcement. Sam, what can you tell us?
Paul, today I was able to hear directly from Texas DPS and U.S. Border Patrol to ask them follow-up questions on what exactly happened yesterday at the border with the migrants and the Texas National Guard. I asked Texas DPS if any of the soldiers or troopers were hurt in that incident. Any Texas law enforcement injured in that incident yesterday?
Well, right now, all the agencies that are involved with working here, whether it be Border Patrol, Customs, or us, everything's is under investigation. So nothing can be said right now because we're still investigating.
While National Guard crews were seen across the border all day, Sergeant Elliot Torres say they've had numerous incidents with migrants over the past couple of days, and soldiers and troopers are here continuing their assignments.
Basically just adapting to it. Nothing more, nothing less.
ABC-7 spoke with U.S. Border Patrol today about the safety measures in place if agents encounter a violent incident.
United States Border Patrol agents are well trained about the use of force, and they will do whatever it takes to stop that person that is becoming a threat to them or any other citizen in this country.
Border Patrol says the concern is for all migrants, both young and old.
So it is a fact that these people are not only putting themselves in danger, they're also placing their children in danger by placing them in these difficult situations while confronting law enforcement agents.
We also asked Border Patrol if any of the migrants that have been apprehended over the past day could still be able to seek asylum. This is what they told us, quote, they can claim asylum, and if they do, they are placed in enhanced expedited removal. In this case, migrants are interviewed by an asylum officer from the USCIS, and if they cannot prove their asylum, they are removed back to their country of origin, end quote. That coming directly from U.S. Border Patrol. Reporting at the U.S.-Mexico border, Sam Harris-Simowitz, ABC-7.
All right, Sam. And the Texas National Guard has deployed additional troops to the border wall after the recent unrest.
ABC-7's Juarez correspondent Heriberto Perez continues our complete coverage.
More soldiers, accompanied by the Texas Department of Public Safety, as well as additional fences and razor wire, were seen today after migrants protested this week. But these groups of migrants are still camping on the U.S. side of the border.
Nosotros tuvimos aquí los últimos 2-3 días personas que estaban en el río.
Cristina Coronado is in charge of the migrant food pantry at the Juarez Cathedral. She said they've received in recent days migrants who have been staying at the border and then returned trying to cross.
Vinieron para acá, algunos venían huyendo porque habían sido perseguidos por.
She said they came back to Juarez because they ran away from the border, because criminal groups and smugglers in Juarez were chasing them. ABC-7 showed you these images this week of migrants taking down portions of the fence and razor wire placed by the Texas National Guard. According to Coronado, after this event, some migrants who were there returned to Juarez because they saw an increase of U.S. authorities, but also for something else.
Que estaba persiguiéndolos y que no era, pues no era policía, ¿no?
¿De este lado criminales?
De este lado, sí. No era migración, no era policía, eran carros.
Cristina told me criminal organizations in Mexico have been chasing migrants recently as well. Today, members of the Texas National Guard were walking close to the razor wire with a speaker telling this to migrants.
Atención, vamos a empezar a instalar alambre de púas en esta zona. Por su seguridad.
They were telling migrants, quote, attention, we are going to start installing razor wire in this area. For your safety, we need you to return to the Mexico side. If you damage the razor wire or try to cross to the U.S., you will be arrested, unquote. Reporting in Ciudad Juárez, Heriberto Pérez, ABC-7.
Thank you, Heriberto. Coronado also told ABC-7 that some migrants are now returning to Juarez and even to their home countries. Some of those migrants are now expressing that In their words, the American dream does not exist anymore. Others are still arriving to Ciudad Juarez, willing to turn themselves in at the border wall.
El Paso District Attorney Bill Hicks held a news conference today regarding Senate Bill 4, a controversial Texas immigration law that allows local police to arrest suspected undocumented migrants. Right now, it's on hold pending a ruling by a federal appeals court.
ABC-7's Tony Gutierrez attended the news conference and brings us more details. Tony?
Paul Stephanie, DA Bill Hicks mentioned that if SB 4 is to pass, it would be his duty as a law enforcement official to enforce this law. Now, DA Hicks mentioned that this law would not only apply for someone entering directly, would only apply for someone entering directly from Mexico into Texas. In order for law enforcement to make an arrest, a case would have to be made where law enforcement actually witnessed the person entering Texas from Mexico. DA Hicks mentioned that in El Paso in particular, someone who enters from Mexico to New Mexico and then Texas would not be in violation of Penal Code Section 5102. When asked what would happen to those whose rights are violated by being arrested as a result of racial profiling, this is what DA Hicks had to say.
I want to emphasize that our office is very committed to making sure that no one's civil liberties are violated and that no one's constitutional rights are violated. So if we see even the hint of that in a case, we will not prosecute. We will immediately reject those cases.
And coming up on ABC-7 at 10, we will bring you more from this news conference as the future of this law is yet to be determined in a federal court. Reporting live from El Paso County Courthouse, Tony Gutierrez, ABC-7.
All right, Tony, thank you. Following that clash between migrants and the National Guard, the White House is blaming Texas Governor Greg Abbott for the tension. As ABC-7 showed you yesterday, our news partners at Channel 44 in Juarez caught that conflict on camera, with a similar confrontation happening again the following day. The White House issued a statement accusing congressional Republicans of not working with Democrats on bipartisan border solutions.
What they're doing instead, and this is the bipartisan agreement, obviously, is listening to the former president, President Trump, tell them not to get involved.
And she went on to say that Abbott continues to make this a dangerous situation.
Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott posted on social media about the migrants breaking the barbed wire. He wrote, quote, "About the surge of illegal immigrants in El Paso, the Texas National Guard and the Department of Public Safety quickly regained control and are redoubling the razor wire barriers. DPS is instructed to arrest every illegal immigrant involved for criminal trespass, destruction of property," end quote.